Hello, good morning. Okay. Oh, now I can see. Let's see who's here. Hello, Marianne, good morning. How are you? I'm just waiting for whomever's going to join us today to come in. Maria, hello. Let me know how you're doing, how you're feeling. I'd love for you to use the chat box and let me know as we're waiting for everyone to come in. I'm going to move this over. I hope that there's some traffic outside. I'm not at home today because there's more renovations. So I've gone elsewhere. But do let me know if that sound is too much. There is a bit of traffic noise. So just let me know. Okay. Well, it looks like we've only got a small group today. Oh no, there's still more of you trickling in. Hello. So while everyone's coming in to join us, I would love, as I said, for you to jump into the chat box and just let me know where you are, what's coming up for you, what is, well, I say top of mind, but I really mean top of energy or top of, well, considering that we're in the chakras, top of chakras. Today's call is very much about the module 4 content. So we're going to be, I want to share with you a technique to really sit in these chakras in the context of the Seeker materials. And just to really work with these chakras as we're starting to clear the way for really embodying this desire and the intuitive instructions, the steps, the aligned action that we're taking to bring it into form. And so it does look like we've got a really small group today, which means that if you want it to be interactive, you'll have to be quite vocal today because there's only a few of us on, which is no problem. I'm happy to talk, but you've got a very personal audience with me, so feel free to use it. Marianne is saying that she's feeling a little chaotic, looking forward to reconnecting into soul desire today. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Marianne. I was sitting this morning actually just really feeling into the energy of the group and also just my own energy. There's a couple of different things that are going on, and I know one of the ladies who isn't able to join us live had been in touch separately just about some of the energy that's happening at the moment. There's a couple of different things that's going on. One is this overall what I've described in a Facebook group as a culmination energy. And, you know, the High Council of Sages with the channeling that I've been bringing through all year has said, you know, we're in the last month of the year. And I think this was the month with the focus on the heart chakra. That will probably be woven into today's work as well. But there's this culmination energy. There's a heart opening. There's a lot shifting and changing in our relationships. And so for some of us, and particularly Sharon, who emailed me, it may turn up as like a clearing out and a cleaning out. Not necessarily of a deep level. It could be just at that physical level rather than at a mental, emotional, spiritual, or even soul level. So there's some of that happening. We're nearing the end of the year, so especially in Australia, for those of us who have kids, there's school holidays and, you know, we've only got a couple of weeks left to Christmas and everything starts winding down. So there's that sort of energy. But as I was feeling into the energy of the group, there's almost this sort of, how would I describe it? Well, you know what? I think we just need to clear our energy. I don't want to call it a heavy energy, but there's certainly this, look, maybe it's coming up as avoidance and resistance. I'm even getting a little bit like itchy as I'm sitting here talking about it. So there's a little bit of avoidance and resistance. That's to be expected as we start doing this big clearing out work. There's part of that. This is kind of the point where it's like the grit that starts to refine things. And I'll be honest with you, it's around this point that people start to go, it's too much. I'm not going to participate. This isn't for me. It doesn't feel good. But this is where the rubber hits the road. And if we can stay in this discomfort, and in fact, it teaches us how to be in the discomfort in our outer world as well, because when we start to have the discomfort, the avoidance, the resistance, the chaos, it will feel like we want to run. But as we can watch what's shifting and changing, it's actually how we come through the other side. So Maria says that she's on her phone today. Okay, no problem, Maria. Thank you for at least letting me know that you may not use the chat box so much. And busy too. Yeah, there's definitely a busy feeling, isn't there? But Maria says that she's got her chakra stone set ready for the call. Perfect. Diana says that it's feeling like I'm in an autumn or a winter since my energy has been low since late October. Feel like I'm hibernating. Well, interestingly enough, Diana, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that geographically you are in an autumn and coming into a winter, but I think you're also talking about your own internal seasons or processes. And don't forget, that can be seasonal. It can be within our own, whether it's a menstrual cycle or a lunar cycle. You know, there's these cycles, big cycles, into little. And even just within your day, there will be a period of winter. So that's okay. If you're feeling like it's a hibernation time, then you honor that, right? Hello, Renee. Nice to have you here. Marianne, definitely been avoiding and resisting. So there is only a few of you on the call today, but I'd love to just get a little maybe a thumbs up or something in the comments if you can add it about this avoidance and resistance, because like I said, as I was tuning into the group, I can feel it. I can feel this level of avoidance and resistance. Okay, and so I can see that someone's tried in the Q&A. Let's see what's in here. Yeah, a similar thought here that Sonia's sharing, that it's been so uncomfortable, but inviting it in, as I know it's the opportunity to work and grow and evolve, but it's not easy. My love, it's so not easy. And like I said before, this is really that point where I've heard some colleagues, a lot of my girlfriends use this term too, about spiritual bypassing. And I think that this is exactly, you know, I said before about the rubber hitting the road. It's like it's okay when we're in the light and we're all about, you know, feeling good and feeling the desire and bringing it in, and this is what I want. That's kind of easy. And then we realize, so if this is what I want and this is where I am, and there's this gap in between, the actual process of change, and I, you know, always talk about the caterpillar that goes into the cocoon and then comes out as the butterfly. You know, there's this period of darkness. And that doesn't necessarily have to be real dark night of the soul, but there's a period where it feels veiled. There's a period where we're not sure. We're not necessarily able to see clearly what's on the other side because we're not there yet. And so it's that in between that is uncomfortable for the ego. It can be uncomfortable for the body. My body's in a real discomfort today. My energy is feeling quite uncomfortable. And for me too, the response is, I want to get out of here. I want to go back to feeling good. I want to just have positive thoughts. But if we drop out at this point and we only focus on the light, or we gloss over it and only, you know, good vibes only, then we actually miss the depth and the real opportunity for change. And so we sort of stay in this like space without ever really having the break through to the other side. So I do I feel it, and I do say to you, you know, we're all in it together, and we just have to be able to sit in it long enough for it to pass, because this will pass. Diana says, yes, maybe more avoiding than resisting. Feels like I may be waiting and allowing more than pushing into the uncomfortable. Yeah, there's something really interesting that happens with that too, Diana, where this is where the refinement process is very, very important, because the more that we work with these skills and with these tools, we will, and self-reflection, we're going to see where the waiting is guided, or the waiting is avoidance, or the waiting is resistance. Just to share something in my in my own life, because I was reflecting on this earlier this morning, I've been in wait mode, self-imposed, for some time. I actually know what the answer is, and I've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and actually it's now a financial situation where, like, I have to make the decision, because otherwise the money doesn't flow. So, you know, that waiting sometimes, in and of itself, just check. I'm not saying it is for you, but certainly for me at the moment, the waiting can be a resistance. And what we're going to work with today, or avoidance, what we're going to work with today is just the subtleties of, like, what is this? And what is this really about? And what is it really asking me to sink through, or to clear, or to heal, or whatever it might be that comes up today. Marie is also feeling avoidance and resistance, almost like the procrastination of a big task, knowing it'll take more of me once I begin. Yes, I hear you. I'm right there alongside of you, my love. And sometimes that's just ego, right? That sometimes it's like we see this big thing that's in front of us, where actually all we really need to do is take one step. And then from that step, we'll take the next and the next and the next, rather than thinking we have to. There's a saying about, is it eating? You eat something, but you still have to eat it one mouthful at a time. Renee, I don't think I'm necessarily avoiding. That's good. But I'm still feeling a lot of blindness. Not sure why that was the word that came. That's okay. In terms of what I consciously see or experience in my meditation. It's time to sit and go a bit deeper this week. But I still do feel there is stuff going on behind the scenes. As you were just saying, though, based on the other comment, I think I need to push a little harder, not wait. I also have a healing session. Oh, that's wonderful. It will be interesting to see how it ties into maybe what we do today and just whatever else you've been working through. So it'd be interesting, Renee, when we do start to move into this, which particular chakra starts to come up for you around this blindness and seeing. Sonia says that you're fighting yourself and feeling, I am feeling it's a time for change. Fighting myself, I'm feeling, and it's a time to change patterns, though it feels uneasy, like letting go of me, and this creates resistance. Yeah. And also, we're going to be moving through this more and more, that we're starting to unveil and we're starting to release these old identities, old beliefs, and we're actually coming at this at a slightly different way than what you may have done previously for some of you. And as we start to see these parts of ourselves leave, it's sad, and we also then need to remember and practice our acceptance and forgiveness of, what's been and what is and what will come. Yes. So I'm feeling all of that. Thank you all for sharing. I can see there's a couple more that have come in and joined us. It's still a relatively small group today, so there's just about 10 of us on the call. So what we're going to do, I can see. Okay, that's the same one. Okay, so the purpose of today's live call, as I said, is we're going to be working with the chakras, because it is the focus of our current module. And we're going to use it as a lens, as a landing point to start to see what is being unveiled to us. And so, I've already mentioned that there's this sort of, I've called it avoidance or resistance. It might come up as something slightly different for you. But essentially, we have brought through what the desire is. We have, in the initiation, we've activated this desire in us, this knowing in us, however clear that knowing may be. But we've activated this new energy. And we're certainly aware of what the old energy is, the old systems, the old structures, the old beliefs, the old way of doing things. In one of the worksheets, we actually draw it as a starting point here with, more or less a ladder to the next level, or the next, maybe the next rung. And so I wish I had a third hand because it's this space in between where we now find ourselves. And this is the part where we have to keep reminding ourselves of our choice. And you would have heard me already talk in the course about standing in the energy of what you want. So with my hands, there's the energy of where we've been, the energy of what we want, and there's this kind of mess that's in between where it's icky, gritty, avoidance, resistance, the chaos, the challenge. And so we actually have a choice. We can be where we were and we can keep sliding back down into it. We can fine tune and be able to stay in the eye of the storm is another way that I've spoken about it. And ultimately keep reaching for the desire or the energy of what we want. So today what I'm going to be taking you through is a little practice using the chakras to help us move through that kind of icky in between and keep bringing us to the desire and to keep bringing us into the energy of what we want. So the bulk of today, I've got an idea of what we're going to do. My counsel will guide us through it, but it's a very embodied practice today. So of course, at any point, jump in and use the chat box because I want to try and address specific challenges as they come up. How do I say it? I guess it's part workshopping. I want to guide you through, but if you want to help to link it back to whatever's coming up specifically for you, just use the chat box if you need to. So what we're going to do to get started is to take, I'm sitting on the floor today, and like I said, I'm very, very uncomfortable, so bear with me as I'm itching and moving around. But we'll have our eyes closed in just a moment anyway. So take a couple of moments just to center into where you are. So I always like to do this with 3 deep belly breaths. So filling the belly and then the chest, and then exhaling from the chest and into the belly. And just as you start to bring your awareness back into your body, I just want you to sit and just place your awareness on what's happening in your body. Any of the physical sensations. You might be aware of discomfort or aches and pains. You might be aware of emotions, maybe from your morning or your day, or even just sitting and feeling into your body, the emotion may come up. So just scan your body, starting at, well, actually, I'm going to let you start wherever you want to start. So just choose either your crown or the base and just scan from one end of your body to the other. Just observing what is present for you right now. You might observe in such a way so as to not judge what you find. That what is here is perfect. What is here is guidance. And it's actually very rich with wisdom and information. So I'd invite you to just place your awareness on the part of your body that feels like it's calling to you the most. And in particular, moving to the parts that feel tense or heavy or uncomfortable, rather than the parts that feel already spacious or light-filled. We actually want to inquire into the discomfort or the shadow here. And so just bring your awareness to that part of your body. And just use your breath to really allow yourself to sink into it. So this is where I'm going to just, I'd like for you to keep your eyes closed. I'm just going to keep an eye on the chat box though, because if you do feel like you start to move into great discomfort, I want you to let me know. Don't hang up, don't run, just come into the chat box. But for now, just stay in this part of your body. And I just want you to bring your breath to this part of your body. And it's like all of your awareness is anchoring into this discomfort, into this tension, and just using your breath to try and create a little space here. And you just keep using your breath and just ask the question, what is this? What is this discomfort? I'm just going to use the word discomfort, but insert your own word. What is this discomfort? What is this tension, pain, heaviness? What is this? Why are you here? And then stay in observer mode, use your breath. And I invite you to have your own little dialogue here with this location in your body. Why are you here? What do you want me to know? And so, for example, my discomfort is saying I'm protecting you. So in my case, well, what do you think I need protecting from? And so a chain of questions will unravel. I just want you to be curious. If you need help with that, jump into the chat box. But do trust your own ability here. Just notice as you're inquiring into your body, and as you're starting to ask these questions, just notice if a little bit more space opens up for you. And if it does, it's like I want you to keep dropping. So the space opens up, come in, like sink in a little bit deeper. And it's like we're going to come right into the heart or the core of what this discomfort is, what this niggle is in your body. And just keep asking, why are you here? What are you here to teach me? So Marianne's jumped in and saying that she's struggling to connect to your sacral chakra, although this is where I'm drawn. That's all right, Marianne. Some of us may be in our chakras already. I'm not even in my chakras yet. I'm simply in a physical location on my body. I know what chakra it's related to, but I'm actually in the discomfort. So if you're struggling to connect with the chakra, that's okay. Even just sit in the disconnect. Just allow yourself to sit in the disconnect and ask, why is the disconnect here? What does the disconnect want you to know? What role is it playing? Okay, Maria says that she feels tension and weight in your throat and chest. Okay, sit with it. So I know that this is going to start getting really uncomfortable. I just want you to sit with it. Why is this weight here? Why is this tension here? And we just want to use the breath, and it's like just free fall. Keep sinking and falling through these sensations. And actually, much of this sensation is sensation we've maybe been avoiding for some time. It may be pain, emotion, guidance that we have ignored. So we're just going to move through it and move through it. Now, actually, when we allow ourselves to feel this, it moves faster than our ability to hang on to it for so long. Caroline says that she's had the worst pain in her upper back lately and now, especially at night, right between my shoulder blades. Okay, so I want you to breathe into this space, Caroline. And I want you, as I'm tuning into yours, I want you to come right into, it's like literally being stabbed in the back. I want you to come right into the puncture mark, the wound. What's at the heart of that? I want you to keep breathing, okay? Renee is at the pituitary area. It's like this beacon radiating, no entry. I don't want to see. Okay, well, here you are, Renee. So as you're all sitting in this, and I thank you so much for sharing it, I called in this light before I turned on the technology, but I just want each of us to invite in the white light and the earth's energy, so this red energy coming up from the earth. And remember that this is a safe space for you to explore. So any of the fears that you start to come up, Renee says, I don't want to see. I don't want to feel. I don't want to connect. And I want you to ask, why? What is this about? some other lines of questioning. How do I grow from this? How do I move past this? What are you teaching me? What do I need to let go of? What aspect of me is being unveiled? And you can call that light right into the core of this. So it's almost like again, this will even feel like a funnel. There will be a broader, denser, harder, heavier, tense sort of area. But if you keep drilling in, you'll come to the very heart of this, or to the very core of this. I just want you to be flooding the area with light. Use your breathing and just allow this to unravel and to unfold. It does need a little time, so sit with it. Okay. So for those of you who are already in the chakras, I want you to stay there. For those of you who may be sitting in a physical location in the body, I want you to still be aware of this location, but just open your awareness to the chakra that this area of the body is linked to. And this time I invite you to come and sit in the center of the chakra. So you're sitting in the center of the chakra. And first and foremost, just notice if this feels any different from sitting in the physical body. And as you're sitting in the chakra, inquire into, or you may already mentally know, but I want you to inquire into the theme of the chakra. What the chakra is responsible for processing. I want you to have a look at the state of the chakra and notice its color. And if you're not a visual or clairvoyant receiver, that's okay. You might just get a sense of, is this clear? Is it clouded? Is it thick? Is it stagnant? What is happening in the relevant chakra? And so if you're sitting now in the middle of the chakra, it's as if you're going to look back out to your physical body. So you're actually going to start to see what's happening in the physical, or maybe it was an emotional level. And you're going to look at what's happening in your body in relation to the chakra. What is the connectivity between the discomfort, the tension, the disconnect, the fear, and the chakra? You can use the same line of inquiry that we used earlier. It's just some open-ended questions. Why are you connected to this chakra? What's the relationship between the pain, the discomfort, the fear, and my energy? And so now I want you to inquire into sitting in the chakra. What does the chakra need in order to restore itself? Well, maybe it's to clear, maybe it's to heal. What does this chakra need to bring itself back to its full radiance, its full brilliance? And what does this have to do with the discomfort you were in earlier? So I've just received a very clear instruction as to something I need to do in my life. So you may receive an action. You may even start to get a sense of a connectivity to the intuitive instructions you've been receiving. Is there anyone who as yet doesn't see the or feel or sense the correlation or know what they have to do? Just want you to come into the chat box if that applies to you. Okay, doesn't seem so. So as we're receiving this information of what's required, so we're standing in, or bringing our awareness into the center of this chakra, we're understanding the theme or the area of our life that needs bolstering, that needs some energy, that needs attention. And we're understanding some other aspect of our physical, emotional, or mental, maybe something in our external world. One of these bodies that is being unveiled to us as where some of this tension is, where the chaos or the resistance is. And hopefully it looks like you will have received some information about clearing, healing, or restoring this chakra. So I want you to take a deep breath. And I want you to make a choice. I want you to engage in actively choosing to do this thing you've been asked to do. You don't need to know how, you don't need to know when, but this is about really activating in your chakra the choice and the decision to clear, to heal, to restore. You may be at manifest, but I imagine that it will be one of those three. And I want you to allow that choice to start bubbling away in your chakra. And I want you to start noticing what happens as you bring your awareness to the choice, to this new energy moving in your chakra. So you may see it as a color, you may feel it inadvertently. I have my hand, I talk with my hands, but inadvertently I'm talking with my hand right outside my solar plexus. You might even want to place your hands at the front and back of the chakra in question. Just hold your choice in the chakra. And start to send the energy of this choice back through the chakra and into the emotional layer or the mental or the physical layer. You know, we spoke before of the funnel, so it's moving its way back out through this space and starting to bring a different energy through the human self. Just keep breathing. You may also start to get a sense of the correlation with other chakras now. So you can stay in the one chakra. As you start to bring your choice and your commitment in that chakra and it starts to come back into balance, or it starts to spin again, or it starts to move its shape and size, it's naturally going to have a knock-on effect to the other chakras above and below it. So at this juncture, you can simply observe what happens when you hold the intention that that choice moves through the column of chakras. You may actually want to go into each of the chakras. So for example, I'm working with my solar plexus. If I look up, my chakras are actually looking pretty good. My lower chakras are being really activated. So for example, I might now go and sit in my sacral chakra and hold the intention there before dropping into my base. So I want you to use your own guidance, your own intuition as to how you need to move through this. Again, if you're not sure, you can jump into the chat box. You can ask anything you need to ask. Actually, for me, as I'm doing this, it's starting to move through my physical body. It needs me to move and stretch. So just trust that this energy, this choice, the commitment is going to continue making its way through your body, through your energy centers. Just want you to take a deep breath and observe the chakra system in its entirety. So it's actually scanning now the 7 main chakras. And getting a sense of, it may be that you still need to go into other chakras here and repeat the process. But generally speaking, I want you just to scan and see if this has started to clear out the avoidance or the resistance, if it started to rewire your system. And as you're scanning, I now want you to really scan from your crown and come all the way down through your chakras to the chakra. So, yeah, it's almost like we want to free fall our way until we reach the chakra that is, it might be the same chakra, it might be a different chakra, but which is the chakra that needs, it needs you to land in? Which is the chakra that's providing the, it's almost like catching you, holding you? How far can you, if your chakras are funnels, how far can you sink through the funnel before you're caught? So it may be that you go through a couple, it may be that you go all the way through the base and you're in the Earth Star chakra, which is just beneath your feet. I'm kind of curious. I'd actually love for you to come into the chat box and let me know where you land. I'm landing in my base. I'm only just coming through the sacral, but I'm landing in my base. Where are you landing? Okay, Sonia's in her solar plexus. Thank you, Sonia. Is anyone unable to even... Okay, so Marianne, you're still in your sacral. This is good. At least I'm assuming then you're in your sacral. Is there anyone who can't figure out where they're landing? Okay. I'm going to trust that you've found where you're landing. It might be the same, it might be different. I want you to take a deep breath. And bring your awareness, so you're sitting in the, or standing, you're in the center of this chakra. And I want you to invite your soul into this space with you. So it's as if your chakra is a room that you're standing in, and you invite your soul to join with you. And so you acknowledge your soul and just notice what it's like to be in her presence. And I want you to ask your soul why this is your landing point. What does this chakra hold for you in your ability to run this energy through your body? How does it feel in this particular chakra? Okay. So some of you are saying that you're landing in one chakra, but you can see glimpses of the other. So just allow yourself, as we move through this process, allow yourself to free fall into another chakra if you're guided to. So as soul joins you in whatever chakra you're in, I want you to actually check, is this where you want me to be? Is this where soul has you landing, or is this where the human self has you landing? And I want you to drop where soul wants you to go. And just observe. So for example, my soul wants me to keep dropping, but my human self is like, no, there's something else here. So again, I want you to use your own self-inquiry here. It's always a game of question and answer, open-ended questions. Why am I here? What am I to know? What am I learning? What is being unveiled? What needs to be cleared or healed or restored? And just allow your soul's energy to work its magic. And just notice what happens. What is the theme of this chakra? And what does it have to do with my ability to free fall? To allow this energy to move through my body. What does this have to do with what I learned in the previous chakra? So just allow soul to bring you whatever it is that you need to know. And the fact that we have soul here, we're starting to receive understandings. So for example, I'm starting to see snippets of my early childhood, early life. There's the connection to my soul timeline. Just be open to whatever. This is soul showing you what is happening. And it's connectivity to your particular journey, to your particular path. And we just keep dropping through the layers. We keep dropping through the chakras. We keep dropping through the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual layers, understanding and having unveiled to us all of the ways in which our human self has been out of alignment through its own perfection, because we choose to be, soul has us choose, what's the opposite of alignment? Out of alignment, so that we remember what it's like to come back into alignment. So why has soul chosen this? Why were these experiences part of our path? And what might you need in order to drop through it again? What might need to be cleared? What might need to be healed or restored? Hmm. Now, what do you get a sense of? So we've been free falling down through the chakras. I want you to get a sense of what is trying to make its way up through the chakras. What's coming from the earth? What's the receivership? What is the support, the richness, the abundance, the joy? What is it that's trying to come up? So it's almost as if the chakra now, this is as far as you've been able to fall. And there's for want of a better description, a barrier or a membrane that's stopping you from falling through, but it's also stopping energy from coming up. What's on the other side of this membrane? What's trying to come from the earth to you? What are you holding yourself back from receiving? Can you allow yourself to unravel this? What would it be like to receive it? Okay, so I'm keeping an eye on the chat box. I know, Maria, you've felt a bit of unease, but now you've dropped through and you're in a lower chakra, you're in your sacral now, and you feel a sense of comfort. Perfect. So what is now in this chakra, if you've dropped again, what's here for you to receive? What's here for you to, so for some of us, it may be to break the membrane, or it may be, what is it that I would be dropping into receiving? If I fell through this membrane, if I fell through down to a lower chakra, what would I truly be sinking into? And it may be the theme of the next chakra, or it might be something else that the earth is bringing to you. And you can ask your soul to help you move through the membrane, to drop through it. You can use your breath. You can just surrender. Or you can indeed trust that it may not be in this exact moment that you drop through, and it may just be highlighting to you what you're going to be continuing to work with over the coming weeks. So just stay here a moment longer. And just call white light and red light into this chakra. Stand here in the presence of your soul and just trust that whatever is unfolding is exactly what is to be unfolding here. I think for me, I need to sit with this a little longer. Just allow that energy to keep working here, knowing that it can keep working through the rest of the day, the rest of the week, for as long as it needs to. Just simply hold the intention, it will continue. I want to remind you at this point, if you need it, the energy activation meditation that's in the members portal will help to continue to run the earth's energy, so the red energy and the white light energy, through your chakras. And I want you to pay attention to the particular chakra that you've landed in. This is the chakra that is the most potent and the most fertile, the most rich with possibility. And it's this chakra that is going to unveil to you how you can continue to open this channel. Your chakras provide a channel for these energies to be moving through you. And as you've got both the white light and the red light coursing through these channels, you have ascended and you've increased your capacity for more pure, high-vibing light. And the more that you're holding in each of these chakras and providing this column through your body, the more space, the more energetic match you will be for weaving soul into this earthly plane through your body. So that being said, I just want you to bring your awareness, it's like you're kind of zooming out now, and I want you to bring your awareness back to the entire column of the 7 main chakras. And just notice, how does your column look? How is the energy moving through your column, your chakras, the energy field, this energetic inner strength that runs through your human self? How much white light runs through here? How much red light runs through here? Is it anchored to the earth? Is it shooting up into the heavens? Are there any external forces that are trying to plug into this? And if there are, just allow the light to lovingly break those energetic cords coming to you. And this is really about energetically setting your boundary, energetically creating a very sovereign energy source through your body, connecting you and the earth. And the more that you radiate this light through your body and being, and the more that it's intact, the more that this column is so as each individual chakra is balanced, as the size and scope of these chakras is more or less the same throughout these main 7 chakras, you create this strong column of light. And that, when intact, creates your energetic boundary. And when that's in place, you actually don't need to call in the white light so much, because you are already a sovereign being. And when this energy is intact, you're protected. So in the presence of your soul, simply ask for any other information that you need about the chakra that you've landed in, about your ability to create this column and the connectivity between each of the chakras, and what needs to happen at the human level what choices, what decisions, what relationships, what changes need to take place to create the potency of each individual chakra and to strengthen this column of light. Your receivership from the heavens and your receivership from the earth. And I want you to make a commitment to continue working with this energy. You'll receive a recording of this if you want to be stepped through it again. But you've done this on your own. You can come back into the chakra and sit and continue working with it now in just the same way as you have today. And so I feel like we've done the energy work. I'm being guided back out of the body. So I just want you to slowly bring your awareness back into the room in which you're in, and trusting that the energies will continue to move in the way in which they need to move. And as you come back into the space, I know I need to sit with this a little while longer later in the day, probably over the course of the next few days. I just want to come back to this idea of the column. As we move through this healing and preparing the human self, what we're doing is working with each individual chakra to increase the amount of light that each chakra holds, to move through the areas where it's dark, tense, where the physical, emotional, mental body has sort of created an imprint that is slowing the chakra down. And so each individual chakra spins and sends light energy out into the world. It's also absorbing energy. But there's also this correlation and the column of energy. And as if you imagine, shame I don't have this lit, but I can never pronounce this, Palo Santo. If you were to imagine that entire column was on fire and it's radiating out, there's I don't know if you've ever burnt it before, but it's like there's an inner fire. And if that strength was completely lit up, then there's suddenly a channel inside of it receiving the heat, receiving and radiating. And that's what we're trying to cultivate in this module. And so the stronger this becomes, the more you increase your frequency and vibration, the more that you're tending to what's in the physical, mental, emotional bodies, the more that these chakras do their thing. And the stronger that column of light, the more that's able to descend from soul, it's able to align and integrate, which we're going to continue to move into, but the more that we actually start to bring up from the earth. And from the earth, we start to receive all of the richness and abundance, which again, we're going to move more and more into. So I hope that some of this is starting to come into context for you. I'm going to hang on the line for another couple of minutes if anyone has any questions or anything that you want to share. But otherwise, I'm going to leave today's call here. I want to urge you to drink lots of water for the rest of your day. If you can, do some grounding exercises if you feel that you need it. And as always, come into the Facebook group. I'm there. I am happy to support you, and I know that you're going to support one another there as well. I want you to watch what starts to happen over the coming days. What comes up in relation to these things? How does it start to shift and change what's happening in the outer world? And don't get caught up in the change. Stay in the center of the choice and the commitment that you're making. Okay. So for those of you who are dropping out, thank you. But as I say, I'll stay on the line for a little bit longer. Maria has said that she's had an emotional sensation come over me in the end. Not too powerful, just that it was there. Thanks, Marianne. I generally find that when emotion washes over me, something is releasing. My mental body doesn't need to understand it, although it wants to. It's just that whatever was being held, most likely in the chakra that you were working on, has been released, and it's actually just coming out of the body. Because remember, if you were to think about, so now I need 4 hands, but you've got a physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. So you've got these 4 layers. So if you're working at the energetic, it's not surprising that you'd feel it maybe emotionally, or that the thoughts start to play up. Or for me today, it's in the physical body. My physical body is incredibly uncomfortable. Just trust it's making its way out. We don't necessarily need to understand it. And so you say that it feels comforting. That's great. And I just noticed that you've posted at 11:11. So I'm glad. I'm glad that it was comforting. Sonia, felt grounding, beautiful, connecting with the center of the core of the earth. And with that, a peace came over me, feeling much calmer now than when we started. Well, that's always good. Trust is what is called for. Yeah, I heard that too today for me. I'm hoping to work with the energy more. Keep going. Keep going, keep going. I'm curious, Sonia, how far down you dropped. I feel like you're dropping quite a bit. Keep going, keep trusting. Renee, my team worked on my blockage, the base chakra, with jackhammers, similar to what was spoken about at the beginning about pushing and no longer holding back. Very interesting. Well, that's great. Sometimes I guess it just needs a jackhammer. I actually feel like I would like a jackhammer to come in and just get to the core of what I'm working with, but I'll trust its timing. And perhaps in privacy, I'm able to drop a little deeper. So that's great. I'm glad to hear it, Renee. And I'd also love to hear, Renee, over the coming days and weeks, how this starts to affect your trust in what you're seeing and how much you're trusting what is unfolding. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out for you. Okay. Well, hang on one more minute. I've got a feeling someone may be writing. Otherwise, I might call it a day. Okay. Thank you all so much for joining me, and please keep the conversation going and let me know what unfolds as you continue to sit in these chakras and to understand their connectivity, so that we're really pulling this column of light down and also up from the earth. And in fact, for those of you who get to this point in the recording, I would really love for you to spend more time bringing that earth energy up. We didn't do a lot of it today, but the energy activation meditation will continue to draw the earth's energy up. You're very, very welcome, Joe. I'm glad that it's been helpful with what you're working through. Okay. Enjoy the rest of your day, my loves. I'll talk to you in Facebook group soon. Bye.